Hello everybody and welcome back to the Mongulu Show. This is a different video than I'm used to making, and quite frankly it's not the video I even set out to make originally, but as I was doing research on the store and power cores and ultra cores, I just kept getting new information and kept thinking about it in different ways, and it kept making me think, this store could be so much better than what it is. This store should be better than what it is. Now, that means this video is going to be a lot of charts and graphs and numbers and stuff like that, so I'll probably put some gifs of Alison Brie being adorable in there just to spice it up a little bit. But other than that, let's get right into this, and I gotta say, this video took me longer than usual, so if you like this video, make sure you let me know, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. Was this video for you? Was it not for you? Either way, I think there's some really good information here that you should enjoy. Sound good? Cool. Let's get into it. All right, before we even get started, I want to give a huge shout out to Updog, Rolf Kieran, 3088 Gaming, and Scooby from my Alliance cluster, House of X, for helping me out by sending me these screenshots so that I could actually do the math on these videos. Greatly appreciated. If you are not from one of the countries that uses these currencies, I do apologize. I did try reaching out on my Discord and other people's Discords, trying to find some people from China, Japan, India, Brazil, other countries like that, but nobody got back to me, or I didn't hear back from them in time. So I can only do what I've got access to, and this is what I had access to. Hey guys, really quickly, I just wanted to shout out Bruno. He was an alliance mate of mine in the Beginner's Luck Alliance, which was my very first alliance in Marvel Strike Force. Huge fan of the show. Back then when I first started, he was like my first actual fan, so I've got a huge love for that guy. He did reach out to me, but it was after I'd already recorded and edited most of this video. Now, Bruno is from Brazil, and so he was able to send me this screenshot, and I gotta say, there's not a whole lot going on with these numbers that's different from what we're gonna see. It's pretty much in line. I will say, don't buy the 350 Ultra Cores. That's a bad deal compared to all the other ones, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. Anyways, let's get back into the video. It's also worth noting this video was made on April 15th, and at the time of this video, these are the exchange rates that we're going to be using. So obviously, we're taking everything back to USD because Scopely's American, and so is most of my audience. So USD is obviously a 1-for-1. Canadian, we're getting 73 cents on the dollar. Pounds are 1.24 cents on the dollar, or $1.24 on the dollar, whatever. $1.24. Euros translate into $1.06, and Singapore dollars translate to 73 cents. So the Canadian and Canadian and Singapore exchange rates are pretty dead on for this one, but that doesn't mean a whole lot for what we're going to get into. So let's check it out. Okay, so I showed you all those pictures that people send me of their screenshots for their power cores and whatnot, but this is the way we can see everything all on one screen. Now, what we're looking at here is how much money it costs to actually buy ultra cores and power cores in their respective currency. So this is in Canadian dollars, pounds, US, whatever. I did round up from 99 cents, or in Singapore's case, 98 cents. Or whatever they call cents over there, so that it is a rounder number for this case. And then when we break it down to actual things, we do go into pennies a little bit more, just to, I don't know, make it make sense, I guess. So what we're looking at here is that in America, it's pretty standard across the board. It is a 10-for-10 ratio, which we'll break down in a second. So now, I'm not going to go over every single number for this page. Depending on what country you're in, you're going to care about that line, so just pay attention to that line as we go forward. I will point out really weird idiosyncrasies when they show up, but right here, right now, we're just seeing how much it costs for what you are going to buy. And it is the same ratios of power cores and ultra cores in every country. They never change, just the dollar amount changes. Okay, now this is a breakdown of what it looks like per dollar for power core or for ultra core. So in America, ultra cores are right across the board. $1 will get you 10 ultra cores. So that's not bad. There's no bonus there, which is a little bit weird, but it's at least straight lined all the way across. Now I'm in Canada, and you can see that for me, my best bet is to buy the 200 Ultra Core offer, because I'm going to get 8 Ultra Cores per dollar, and that's not bad. But then if I go for the 350, I'm going down to 7 Ultra Cores per dollar, so I'm not getting as much for my money. Now, other than that, it's all in the same range. Like, there's nothing absolutely insane here. I just want to break it down that it's like, this is what you're spending for what you're getting. Now, in England, for pounds, it's exactly like America. It's 10 for 1, so that's not bad. We go to euros, and it's interesting that their best offer is actually the 100 or the 1,000. They're the exact same, but then in between it gets worse, which is a little bit weird to me, especially when you get that 500 offer being the absolute worst. You're only getting 8.3. I don't know why it would go down by that much. That seems kind of silly. When it goes back up to 1,000, that's just weird. But Singapore, Now, Singapore is interesting because 3 of their 5 offers are the worst rate possible, and their best rate is still not great compared to what some places in the rest of the world are getting per dollar. Now, we'll get this breaking down so that we take it into American currency, and you can see that like for one, it stays roughly about the same in case people are yelling at me about exchange rates. Don't worry, we'll get there. When we take a look at power cores, it's pretty standard that they just get better and better over time. So in America, you can see you get 75 power cores per dollar for the first 3, then it's 79, then it's 82, and then it goes up to 86. That's pretty standard. That's what we're used to seeing in video games. The more you buy, well, not but video games, anywhere, like fast food restaurants, cable packages, whatever, the more you buy, the better the deal gets. That's the way it should be. You nailed this one. Good job. In Canada, you can see that it does get better for the first 3, and then it takes a dip for the 4th one before the best offer being at the very end. For most of them, the best offer is at the very end. Pounds, same thing. They just get better the whole way along. Euros, for some reason, take a dip at the 375 mark. We're not entirely sure why, but it goes from 75 to 62, back to 75, down to 68. Like, I don't know why there's a, like, it's all over the place. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's good, bad, good. I mean, baseline, bad, same as baseline, worse, and then it jumps back up to 86.3, which is in line with America and England. So I guess that's good if you want to spend that much money all at once, but you get kind of hurt if you don't, which doesn't make sense to me. Singapore being the opposite. You're going from 50, going up, then going back down, and then starting to build up again, with your best offer actually being the 4,130. For some reason, they're the only one of the limited sample size that I looked at that doesn't have the maximum offer being the best offer. Now, what's interesting about this chart is this is if we convert all of the currencies into American, what is Scopely actually getting from each country? Now, obviously, USD doesn't change because they're in America. But when you go to Canada, it's the only one where Scopely is actually getting less money per the offer for the first 2 and for the last one. Now, I'm not exactly bleeding my heart out for them. I'm still paying more money in my own personal currency, and that's what matters to me, because I get paid at a certain rate, and that's what I'm willing to give them. The fact that it exchanges currency and they get less money, who cares? But I'm just, so we can compare apples to apples, I just wanted to point out this is what it is in USD for both Ultra Cores and Power Cores. Now, I don't actually know if this works, but if you're in America and you have access to a VPN, maybe you could try switching over to fool your computer or your cell phone into thinking you're in Canada, and if you wanted to buy that 1,000 Ultra Cores, you could save yourself $6. I don't know if that's worth your time or effort, or if it even works, but I mean, you know, whatever. Let me know in the comments down below if anybody's ever tried that, or if there's a better country to do that for. That'd be kind of cool to know. All right, so here's the same chart we were looking at a second ago, except for now it's all in American money. So this is the amount of cores you get per dollar spent as if your dollar was changed into American. So for Ultra Cores, you can see that America and England are right across the board the exact same. Doesn't matter by whatever Ultra Core power you want. You're not getting a deal no matter what, but you're also not getting screwed. In Canada, you can see it's best for us to buy the 200 Ultra Core power if you want to get the most bang for your buck. In Europe, you want to get either the 100 or the 1000 if you want to get the most for your buck. And in Singapore, you really want to go for that 500. It's not drastically different in any country. Like, nobody's ever actually getting totally screwed, but it is like worth noting. Now, it's worth pointing out that for the Power Cores, it's generally, almost universally, better to buy the largest package, the 8,630, with the one exception being in Singapore, where it's actually better to buy the 4,130. It's also worth noting that in Europe, it's actually a terrible offer to buy the 375 Power Cores, and in Canada, it dips a little bit to buy the 4,130. Neither one of those are like, well, I mean, the European one's actually pretty bad compared to it. Like, you can get a much better offer by buying the 150 multiple times, because it's I think it's $2. Let's go back and check. Yeah, so in the European one, you can see that it is $2 or €2, I guess, to get 150, but it's €6 to get 375. Well, if you just bought the first offer 3 times, you'd have 450. That's dumb. Like, why are we doing math like that? That doesn't make any sense. There's other idiosyncrasies like that throughout the list, and you can kind of break this down and look at it as you see fit, but that's kind of what we're talking about, where some things, it just doesn't make sense to actually buy bigger offers. It makes better sense to buy smaller offers. Now, what I was actually going to talk about in this video was the difference between Marvel Strike Force and some other games where they have in-app purchases that you can play. If we take a look at something like Fortnite, for instance, one of the bigger games in the world, you can see that you actually get a much larger amount depending on what it is you're purchasing. You can see that the more you spend, the better the rewards are going to be. Now, I didn't do math breakdowns for every clip that I'm going to show you here, but it shows you right on screen. You're going to get 12% extra, 25% extra, or 35% extra. You're getting rewarded for buying larger numbers, which when we took a look at the American numbers in Marvel Strike Force, you are not. It's straight across the board, exactly 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. When we take a look at something like Helldivers, which is a massive game out on the PC right now and PlayStation, it doesn't advertise it, but you do still get a greater percentage. The first offer here, you're going to get about 50 super credits for $3 or per dollar, sorry. Whereas the last one, you're getting about 77 per dollar. So it does increase over time, although it doesn't tell you that it does, but you are still getting a better deal the more you spend. Now, I know that those are both big PC AAA titles. So let's take a look at another mobile game with Warhammer 40k Tacticus, which I'm actually running a sponsorship for right now. Link in the description below if you want to help me out with that. So you can see that your first time, now first off, they've got a first purchase double amount, which is brilliant and will actually incentivize people to probably spend more on that very first purchase because you're going to get that much more, which is really smart on their part. I'm just going to throw that out there. But even then, when you break it down, you're looking at, and again, this is all Canadian, you're looking at about 66 Blackstone for your dollar when you start off versus 112 per Blackstone per dollar at the very end. It's almost double. Almost, not quite, but still, definitely a much better deal the more you spend. And AFK Journey is a game a lot of people are talking about right now, so we took a look at that one as well. And not only does it jump significantly from the first offer being like 14 Dragon credits per dollar to the final offer 3,000 being 21 Dragon credits per offer. So again, like every other game that I looked at, again, small sample size, but in general, the more you spend, the better it gets. Which is one thing we're lacking in Marvel Strike Force. I will also point out that with Fortnite and Helldivers, I'm not as familiar with Helldivers as I am Fortnite. I played a lot of Fortnite. You can get the battle pass or the season pass, whatever you want to call it, without spending money. Like, you earn free credits throughout the battle pass. So if you want to, you could save those up for a couple, it would take a while, but you could save those up, buy the battle pass. And if you complete the battle pass every however long a season is, you earn enough credits to not only buy the battle pass again, but you'll have some left over. So you're actually still working up. So you can play Fortnite completely free and get every single battle pass after like 3 months or something of that of playing it. Or you can buy one battle pass and never buy a battle pass again as long as you're an active player, which is really cool. My understanding is Helldivers works the exact same way, where as long as you play the game enough, you can actually earn everything for free. That's brilliant. Could you imagine if we had the Strike Pass and you could actually earn enough power credits to pay for it? Or for that matter, if you could just pay for the battle pass with power credits at all. You earn the battle pass, or you earn the power credits, power cores, you earn the power cores through the arena, and you could buy battle passes without spending money. Now, I'm sure there's people that are yelling at me like, that's ridiculous. Of course, the company needs to make money. Fortnite does it. Helldivers does it. Now, okay, Helldivers you have to spend $40 for initially, but then you own the game forever. Fortnite's a free game, and you can get the battle passes for free. They make their money off other cosmetics, I get that, but it's possible. Now, I didn't have to look all that hard for this, and I just literally went to the store and searched around because there are deals like this all the time. I'm gonna do my best to compare apples to apples while I'm doing this, and keep in mind this isn't Canadian currency. But you can see there's an offer here for $6.99 where you can get 48,000 rays as well as 100 augmented basic catalysts and 500 superior basic catalysts, and then of course you'll get the bang for your buck UPCs. Now right below that is the same offer, but 41,000, so you're losing 7,000 gamma rays, and you don't get any of the catalysts. $6.99. It's the exact same price. Now, you can only buy this one twice, and you can buy this 5 times. I'm sure somebody's gonna come at me and be like, well, if I need all 7 of them, then it's good that they're there. Sure, okay, fair. But why doesn't this one like grayed out or something, or hidden behind this system? Now, AFK Journey has this version that I really like, where you can actually see like, okay, I'm gonna get this for free, and when I unlock this, I'll be able to get this one. Once I get that, I can spend $1.39, and it kind of goes through this tree, as you can see, that it goes down, and it'll tell you like, okay, you're gonna get that for free, and when you do that, you can pay for this, and once you do that, it'll do this. That would be great for the store to fix some of the problems that I'm talking about, right? Like if you could do this and be like, okay, I'm gonna be able to buy this bundle for $29.99, whatever the price is, $6.99. and I get to buy it twice, but then after that it goes to this bundle instead, that would be way better than what they've got right now, where there's just feel bads where you might buy something and then realize, oh, for the exact same price I could have got that instead. That sucks. Do something like this. This is actually pretty smart. Here's another one for you right up here at the top. 22 million gold plus 10,000 of the web UPCs, or 21 million gold and 10 of the UPCs. Now, these are both 10 purchases. You could spend a ridiculous amount of money if you wanted to, but like, why would you ever buy 21 million if 22 million is available? I understand it says web special, but like, get rid of this. You are clearly trying to catch people with their pants down who aren't paying attention. I mean, granted, it's only an extra 1 million, but like, it's guaranteed feel bads when they notice, or if they notice, hey, wait a second, I spent $130 and you're giving me less than I should have gotten. That's just silly. And it's such an easy fix. Just hide this behind this one or get rid of it entirely while this one's live. Same thing here, web special, 130 bucks for 1.9 of these versus 1.15 of these. Same price. You can buy this more times if you want to really feel bad about your life. Now, the last thing I want to touch on, because I'm sure somebody somewhere is yelling at me about how, yeah, you don't get additional power cores or ultra cores necessarily when you buy bigger offers, but you do get the UPC codes, which are good for the bang for your buck milestone. My issue with that is I'm buying power cores or I'm buying ultra cores. That's what I want because I can use those to buy what I want. So you're giving me free stuff, which is great, but let's say I want training materials. The only training materials here is you get 1 orb at the very beginning and you get 50 training materials later on. That's it. Now I understand that it's all still free stuff, but it's not the free stuff that I'm necessarily looking for. Like at this point in time, teal gear doesn't get me excited. Orange gear certainly doesn't. Catalysts, okay, like I'm going to need them at some point, but I'm usually buying stuff because I want battle passes, strike passes, gold, or training materials. There are no gold in here. There is minimal training materials, and obviously the strike passes and battle passes are a straight up no-go. So while there's free stuff here, it's not free stuff I need. What I want is the stuff I'm paying for. Give me more of what I pay for. Now, if you do need teal gear, as I'm sure most of us did at one point, sure, that might be an incentive to spend extra money. But the other thing is, this is only available if you buy it on the web store. This isn't even an offer if you buy in-game. You could buy stuff in-game and get absolutely none of these rewards. So in closing, some of the things that I'd love to see change is I want to see significant offers for when you buy more power cores. If you're going to be spending, or ultra cores, if you're going to be spending a lot of money on this game, I want to see you actually get rewarded for it instead of it just being the same number across the board. This is pretty standard in most video games, fast food, retail stores. Like this is a thing that happens everywhere. Spend more, get more. I don't know why it's not in this game. Secondly, I'd love it if we could buy battle passes or strike passes, or heaven forbid both, using in-game currency like power cores. I'm not saying it has to be a 1-for-1, like maybe you have to save up like 1,500 or 2,000 power cores to do it, but it would be amazing if you could spend power cores that you can earn in the game to level up the game. Other games like Fortnite and Helldivers are already doing this and they seem to be doing just fine. I don't see why this couldn't be an issue. I'm not saying it has to be like, oh, spend 500 power cores and then in the battle pass, you're gonna get 500 power cores again. I get that that's a little unreasonable, but even if you had to save up for a while to do it, I think this would be a really good change going forward. But honestly, my biggest issue, get rid of those things in the store that are just feel bads. Get rid of them, put them behind walls, hide them so you have to purchase the first offer before you get the second offer. But I don't want to see things in the store where it's the exact same price value for the exact same items, but one person's getting less and one person's getting more. That's just scummy. Hide them. Make it so whatever you buy, you can feel good about your purchase. And if you have to, make it so you can buy 2 or 3 of the one that you feel good about, and then it unlocks the one that's okay, but not quite as good. But for the people who buy one and then see the one afterwards that was better, but for the exact same amount of money, that just feels awful. Don't make people feel awful about playing your game. Certainly not about spending money on your game. Do better. I know you can. All right, if you made it this far in the video, you probably enjoyed it. Please consider hitting that like button. And if you really like this content and you want to see more of me, hit subscribe. It really does help out a lot. But please leave a comment. Was this video interesting or was this really boring? You just couldn't change it because the phone was too far away or something like that. I'd really like to know. I go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays over at twitch.tv/The Mongoolie Show. So head over there and hit the follow button so you know when we go live, or hang out here on YouTube with me. Hit that subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. Either way, Commanders, I hope you do well in Cosmic Crucible this week, or in War, whatever it is you like to participate in. And until next time, good luck to you.